Thank you for tuning in to the Light of Conscience, where the knowing that exists where thoughts do not lights the way. Subscribe to stay inspired. The best compliment you can give us is to share this with a friend. To help others find us, you can also leave a rating and write a review. The more the merrier in the light of conscience. So let's make love to the beauty of the lives we meant to live, and bathe in the creation of the gifts we seek to give. It's enough to sit and listen, it's enough to say good try. Don't know about tomorrow, but right now we're shining bright. Aloha, my friends. Did you like that new intro? I'm gonna try it out for a little while. Let me know how you like it. Find me in the Light of Conscience community on Facebook. It's bit.ly/LOC community. I am so excited, of course, as always, I'm so excited always to introduce you to my guest. Today is Dr. Rebecca Garifo. She's an author, an empath, healer, a counselor. She is such a bright light, and I am so excited for you. She has a little bit of a potty mouth, and we have a lot of fun. So enjoy this Wayshower's message. If you connect to her at all, find us. We're in the Light of Conscience community, always. Yay! Here we go! First off, I want to say welcome to the Light of Conscience podcast.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Like, seriously? Like, the podcast part is great, but just to be able to talk to you and see you, I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. Yes.
I am too. I
love it.
This has been the funnest thing for me ever, I think.
Oh, that's
There's
awesome.
a few reasons. One, I love to talk.
You're at the right place. You're at the right place.
Yeah. I think that my childhood, I want the attention or something, or I want the recognition comes through.
Right. Girl, and it is like, what better time as an adult for you to finally be like, oh, I can create a platform for my voice. Like, I can do that. Yeah, I'm like, girl, go on with your bad self. I love it.
And other people who are like me get to be invited to share their voice. I love it.
I love it. The best. And I have to tell you, so I was listening to, I think, your latest podcast, and you were talking about you fell asleep at a Smashing Pumpkins concert.
Yeah. That was with Aaron.
That cracked me up so bad. That was such a good podcast. And I had to laugh because my friends made fun of me because we went to Busch Gardens one day. And this was like way before I ever got like, food testing done or anything. I fell asleep on the roller coaster. Like, we were going up the hill. And I was like, and Ryan was like, baby, the hill's coming up. And I was like, what? Oh, okay. Like, I just was that tired. And I know you know how that feels. Like, I was exhausted. And like, after that coaster, I was like, y'all, go ahead and catch the next one. I'm gonna pass out on this bench in public for like 2 hours and then I'll catch you later. Like, crazy. It's like you turn into a 3-year-old again that's like, oh, I want to take a nap. I'm gonna nap right here. Like, can't stop me now. Here I go. That is so fun.
I'm so glad you resonated with that.
Concert. Yes, it cracked me up so bad. I was like, oh my God. That's a good story to tell, though, with Smashing Pumpkins. That is too good. I love it.
For the listeners, if you haven't heard the podcast with Erin Thole-Blakely, the nutrition specialist that I had on here, well, she's a lot more than that, but it was, I think, episode 6, I think.
I think so.
Go back and look for it. But the answer is food. So go look for that one.
It's wonderful. I loved it.
So, Rebecca, tell us how you figured out or what made you realize that you're a wayshower.
Okay. So, really, the adult me is a little bit of a scaredy cat. Like, to be really honest, I was journaling almost 10 years ago, I think. And that's kind of how I'll receive messages and kind of step outside myself as well in journaling. And I journaled, "You are the woman you knew you were when you were 6 years old. And that scares the shit out of you." And I was like, yes, it does. And I did when I was a child. It wasn't even a question. Like, I knew I was here for some big stuff, and it wasn't scary. I was excited. I was so excited about it. And I remember getting baptized in the Mormon church. You're 8 years old when you get baptized and confirmed. And so I'm getting my confirmation afterward. And I remember looking at everyone in the congregation and just thinking, like, I cannot wait to show you how close I am to God. This is going to be so exciting. It was just this knowing. And so this whole past year, I kept thinking, baby girl, you had no fucking idea of what was coming. But now we know, don't we? Like, now we know what all that was. So yeah, it's kind of been a remembering more than a, you know what I mean?
I do exactly know what you mean. I have to ask you this. Do you
Ask away.
Did you see the Book of Mormon?
No, and I want to watch it. So, you know, all my friends are like, you have to see it, you'll love it. And it just came around here to DPAC. But of course, I saw it when it was too late. So one ticket was like $500. And I was like, yeah, we're going to have to catch that next time.
Okay, so we saw it a couple of years ago when it was here in Honolulu. And it was Mormons. You know,
the pause in your voice speaks volumes.
No, it's kind of because I don't know what I can say about other religions. So I'm not going to say like names of other religions, but other religions, people would bomb that freaking place. Okay?
Right.
Mormons were outside handing out their book. Like, oh, did you enjoy the play? Here, check it out. Do you want the Book of Mormon? Like, they're so nice. They're like Minnesota nice to the nth degree.
Yes. And I have to look, I'm like, I want to be guarded about what I say sometimes. And then I'm like, well, fuck it. Cause what I want to say, there's no way to not just say it. But that has been such a tangled web to unweave throughout my life, is to realize sometimes the overly nice and the like insanely nice is a big red flag for like, what's going on here? What are you trying to distract me from? Like, what's the deal? And that is nailing Jello to a tree. That is a hard thing to uncover. You know what I mean? Because nobody around you goes, yeah, something smells like bullshit. Like, everyone else is like, no, I think they're the most Christ-like person I've ever met. You know, so it's a hard, and, you know, umbrella statement. This is not, you know, everyone in the Mormon religion or every religion period, but as a theme in life, I think, you know, being an empath, that's like an ongoing running joke, isn't it? Being like, oh my God, they are so nice. They are freakishly nice. What do you want from me? Like, what's really happening here? It's kind of crazy.
I like that a lot. Just for so much of our lives, it's like we have to make sure the other person is comfortable, right? That person needs to be comfortable. What can I do? How can I fake me so they can be comfortable? No.
Right.
No, it's not up to us. It's up to us to make us comfortable. Hello.
I know. It's a tough. Yes, absolutely.
I have never asked anybody on the podcast what they think when they hear Light of Conscience, because that's more for me. Right. But what you wrote was so amazing that I want you to tell me right now. And of course, you're not looking at what you wrote, so I want to hear it from your heart again.
I love you. That is so sweet. Well, and I was, obviously, you know, I like to write, so it's so nerdy. You sent me that questionnaire and I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait to get on this. So I love that phrase, Light of Conscience. And I did, like, just reading it, I see the light of the sun traveling to the earth, right? And it's like I saw a sunrise through a cityscape, and the way that the light effortlessly travels through the buildings, through the tiniest cracks in walls, it finds a way. And it does, it just encompasses to me that like there's not so much of a struggle, and the light doesn't damn the darkness for what it does, and it doesn't damn every, you know, block in its path, every building, every person wearing sunglasses, you know, it finds a way, and it does it with grace, and it does it unabashedly, you know, if that's a real word or if I just made that up. But it's just, to me, that is us. That's what we do every day, is reach. We reach for the highest self that we can. And it's easy sometimes to see those buildings in our way and to want to damn those situations and be like, what the freaking fuck? This is my job. And why is this here? Like, what is the deal? Why are people wearing sunglasses? Why are they holding umbrellas at the beach? Like, what the fuck? None of that matters. None of that matters. You know what I mean? And what a great phrase that you came up with to encompass that like eternal reach that the light does. Laura, I really love it. I love it.
I kind of think I should put my side of these. I think on Zoom, you only get one side of the conversation for the video, but I kind of think that it might be sort of fun to put my side on, because my expressions are so, I don't know, yeah, they're so like
I love it. I'm watching you fan your face. I'm like, oh, I love you.
Yeah. So I don't know, I might have to play with that, like putting it in my club or something.
Yeah.
So people can see how over freaking joyed I am, or overly expressive I am.
I love
it. But really,
I genuinely like people that are kind of animated like a Muppet, like I am. It just makes me feel comfortable. So just so you know, it's my favorite.
Awesome. I am put on this planet to make weird people feel comfortable. I know it.
I love it.
And I say weird with like the most respect in the universe.
Yes.
So, I want to bring up your book because how you described Light of Conscience is more elegant than I could even describe it. You have such a beautiful knack for words. You have such a wonderful way of expressing through writing, and let us know what we can expect, or when we can expect. If you know, your book is in progress, I know. So just tell us about the journey even. I don't even care. Tell us anything.
God, Laura, that makes me want to cry. I'm like, this is such a like Yaya sisterhood moment.
I know.
Seriously, this could not have been on a better day, because I'm gonna let you right behind the curtain. So it's it's been submitted, and they're kind of, going through all the innards of it right now. And I got an email, and it's an extremely personal book. It is my life story for the last, 30 years, which is my life minus like 6 months. So my advisor was like, we got to make sure you're protected and da-da-da-da-da. Do you want to use a pseudonym and da-da-da-da? And it was like just a few hours ago, just today, there was this moment of, how much are you willing to risk? Like, how much are you willing to put on the line? And I started writing down my options, and I seriously drew a line through every single one. And I was like, nope, like, this is me. This is my story. This is it. Like, it is what it is. And this is my whole life's work. I'm not putting anybody else's name on that. I like earned 30 years. I earned 30 years worth of this shit. I'm putting my name on it, And so basically the book, I wanted the best way possible. Of course, I think as empaths, we're so driven to help other people. We can easily bypass ourselves. We can become the healer and never heal ourselves. That's so easy to do. And of all the like 35 books I want to write, every time I think about it, I'd hear this little voice that was like, yeah, no, baby, you have to write this one first, because this is for you. Like, you have to do this. So it's really been like I guess I really started it in January. I picture when I sit down to write, I always have music playing. So I have this like soundtrack to kind of pull it out. And I feel like I just paint with words, if that makes any sense. Like, I speak metaphorically a lot, because that's kind of how I see things. And I realized it was a way for me to look back on everything in my life from a bird's eye view and see everything, like all from every angle, and be able to not only heal the pain, but like gift wrap it and be like, oh my God, no matter how dark that was, no matter how much that sucked, like I get it. And it doesn't mean that everything after this is just butterflies and rainbows, but like I can finally lay this to rest, you know, like, okay, like I can really, I think I'm starting to get this shit. So I really, you know, this book is just kind of me sharing my story as authentically as I can, because I myself have realized for me to heal, I've needed more than anything. I just need truth, and I need authenticity and companionship. I don't need someone to idolize. I don't need another, you know, how-to book. Like, hearing someone else's truth, it just rings this bell in us that can't be unrung. You know what I mean? And you see it sometimes when people get really pissed and they don't want to hear it. You can't unring that bell, you know? And so it's like, I'm so thankful because I've been able to heal myself by getting this all out. And so now I just want it to be a ripple effect. I want to kind of lay myself on the chopping block, I guess, for at least one other person to just read it and be like, oh my God, I'm not crazy. And for me to be a sensitive, compassionate, sympathetic person in no way means that I have to put my physical health, my mental health, my emotional and spiritual health on the back burner at all. You know, there's so much, it's not a surprise to me at all that autoimmune diseases are skyrocketing at the same time, like everybody's being gaslit left and right. You know, it's like, it's just, we're all being put through the washing machine. And so it kind of, it's been a little overwhelming, you know, in some points for me to be like, how is this so at the right time that I feel like this is coming out? You know, because I feel like it's just, authentic companionship is so needed right now. So that's really, it's just a coffee talk book, kind of.
I will tell you how. Are you really asking that question is what I mean. What? How?
More of like an overwhelming, like, how does it always work like this? Like, how, you know what I mean? It's like that incredible overwhelm of like, this shit is crazy.
Here's why. Because that's how the universe functions.
Always.
It's always right.
Always.
No more being surprised, people. No more being surprised. Like, wow, that opportunity came to me at just the right moment. Oh my God, how did that even? Because that's how the heart path leads you.
It's so true. It's so true. And I feel like our little spirit guides just watch us drop our jaws every time. And they're like, we got him again. Yep.
Yeah.
They didn't see that coming.
Speaking of spirit guides, I have to tell this story because it's, to me, it's hilarious. This is a while ago. I was still living in Minnesota, so it was years ago now. And I was at a point in my life, which I think many people right now are kind of at this point where I was at that moment. And of course, I will be again, probably tomorrow. But I was so beside myself with anxiety about what I'm supposed to, like, what should I do? What's my next step? Like, what am I supposed to do? That's been my theme from my life. What am I supposed to do? And I was so, like, beside myself in this inner turmoil. I just laid down on my kitchen floor and started, like, crying. And luckily, oh, don't look at it. Now Rebecca has a face
I'm
like,
on the edge of my seat.
Because she's an empath and she feels all of this too. I'm sorry.
No. I'm like, tell me what happens. Tell me how it ends.
No, so this is what happened. I was just crying and anxious and oh my God, what do I do? And all of a sudden I just started to kind of crack up, because when you kind of realize and just step back from being in this life, you realize, like, okay, Well, number one, my guides right now have to just be cracking up laughing at me because my inner my guidance, my inner self, my angels, whatever you want to connect to, they know I'm fine. Secondly, and I'm freaking out for like literally nothing. Secondly, inhale. That's your next step. Always. Unless you just did, then it's exhale. So inhale and then exhale and then inhale, exhale, repeat, continue. That's it.
It's
So
true.
simple.
It's so true. And I'm telling you, I was sitting journaling, I think like 5 or 6 years ago. And I love it because you know how so many of the messages you'll receive, like they can be blunt as all get out, but it's delivered in this comforting way somehow. And I was stressing about stuff and sitting there writing, and all I heard was, all right, here's the deal. Okay. What's the worst that could happen? You die, right? What happens if you die? You go somewhere better than you are right now. So let's just face the fact that, like, just stop worrying. Just stop. And it crack me up because I was like, oh yeah, I guess I'm being ridiculous. But I know it's one of my favorite addictions is to just panic, just get a good sweat going. And, it's one of those things that you're so right. You just have to breathe in, breathe out, check in and be like, what is the major malfunction here? What is happening?
Yeah. My mother actually helped me out so greatly with this, even younger, way younger. I was in college and it was a summer. I had just done a summer camp. Well, I was a counselor at a Bible camp, which no one believes me when I tell them that I went to Bible camp, and I was even a counselor at a Bible camp before, but I was so beside myself. I had just been a freshman in college, so this was the summer after freshman year, and I didn't know, like, I hadn't really felt at home at my new college or town or anything. I hadn't really found, I guess, my place there. And I made really good friends at the summer camp because it's a bonding situation. You're with them all the time. You're experiencing the same things. On the weekends, you get to go and hang out with them and everything. And I'm just like, well, maybe I should transfer to Pennsylvania. God, I'm so glad I didn't. No offense, Pennsylvania, but for me, it just wasn't it wasn't me. Minnesota is just beauty incarnate. Anyway, incarnate? No, wait, that's a body, isn't it? Right?
I make up words all the time. So I'm
well, it's not a made up word. I think I just used it wrong.
It's not a made up word, but I use the wrong words all the time. So just, yeah. I promise I'll throw it in there in a little bit. So you just roll with it.
Perfect. So I was sitting in my parents' kitchen, and my mom was in the kitchen, and I was like at the little bar thing. And I was just, I don't know what to do. What should I do? Should I transfer it? Like freaking out, like, the time on the floor. Except for I wasn't crying this time. And my mom just looked at me and she said, well, maybe you don't have to know. Maybe you're not supposed to know. And that little flip of the switch, it was like, oh. All of a sudden my nervous system was like, oh, I don't have to figure this one out right now.
Yes. Isn't that such a, like, oh.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I even wrote a song years later again, but Maybe You Don't Need to Know is the title of the song. And, inspired by my mom. And then I have one inspired by my dad too, which is awesome. Anyways, that's just a little side note there. Let me move on to some of the things that you're really excited about sharing, because when you talk, it's like value bomb here, there, and everywhere. So let's keep you talking.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ooh, this is a good one. When I was a kid, I mean, I'm a sensitive person, so I was so freaking gullible, but sensitive does not mean gullible or weak. The contrary. Can you expand on that? Tell us what you mean.
Yes. So, I feel like we can often feel like canaries in a coal mine, as empaths, because we can be sitting in a room of people and we're like, something is not right. I'm I'm not okay with what's happening. And nobody else is turning their head. They're like, everything's great. I think everything's fine. You're like, I just don't. But here's the thing. Even though we have that, bullshit reader buried in us, it enables us, our sensitivity, to see and understand so much that I feel like people feel our forgiving nature, our kind nature, our compassionate nature. And so a lot of people feel that and approach us like, oh, they'll forgive me for anything. Because like we're the ones that go home and kind of like dissect ourselves and put ourselves in the other person's shoes and go, okay, like maybe I saw things wrong. Like, how can I see this from their perspective? Da, 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 So I think it's something that we have to scrape our knees a few times as sensitive people to realize, like, yeah, people do feel how big our hearts are and that we do easily forgive because we are so good at self-analysis that we will like self-analyze anything away and be like, well, I see where I could have taken part in that. And I see where I could have misunderstood that. But it's so important to know, like, that first red flag that popped up that might have caused, an argument or a fallout or something like that, we've got to get better at trusting ourselves with that and knowing, like, no, we usually know. We're not stupid. How many of us, and I know, like, I get these texts and phone calls all the time of like, God, I knew it. I called that 3 months ago and I thought I was being a bitch by being like, I just don't think they were telling the truth. Something's wrong. But we're so, we want to be kind and we want to see, and we do. That's what sucks. We see the best in everybody, whether we want to or not. And I will tell you right now, I got the biggest gift ever. I think I was 16, and long story short, my grandfather, we had put in prison when I was 5 for molestation, and I had not seen him since the trial or anything, right? So his wife, who was my grandmother, had passed away. So I'm seeing this guy for the first time since the court trial. And I will never forget, there was nobody else in the room. I was walking up to the open casket and I saw his back. And as he turned to me, I realized who it was. And all I saw was this like shell of a man, and he was shaking, and like I just could feel how lost he was. And I didn't even give it a second thought. Like I just opened my arms to wrap my arms around him. And as I held him, I could feel him shaking. And I remember he asked, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I'm really great. Are you okay?" And like, in that moment, I realized, like, there is such power in us being able to move past the mistakes that all of us make as humans, because we all fuck up left and right, no matter how hard we try not to, right? Like, story of my friggin' life, right? But it's like, we're not gullible, y'all. We really just know how to still see the child that wanted to do their best. That's the end of the story, And I think so many of us can get played a fool or be called the fool because people are like, how could you let them, manipulate you? Or how could you forgive someone for that? Or how could you, and I think it's something that we have to practice every day, of like boundaries of self-respect, while we also see the truth of situations, and I know I'm probably like going in circles, like going on about this, but it is, I think sometimes the depth that we can forgive and the depth that we can see why things may have happened to others might make us look absolutely silly and gullible and easily manipulated, so it's like we have to know that means for manipulative people and people that are entertained by, abusing other people, that can put a target on our backs. So for our own safety, we have to know that when we shine that bright, we attract a lot of bugs. So the big life lesson.
I love how you used bugs like that. I've never heard that. I've heard, in the spiritual communities and yoga and stuff, like if you shine bright, your light attracts the dark, and just that was so wonderful. You attract a lot of bugs. It's just,
Hey.
It's so true.
And it's like, it kind of, I don't know, to me, I'm like, it's just bugs. It's just what they do. There's no reason to be afraid. Like, they're just bugs. That's just, they have a one-track mind. That's where they're going. Yeah.
And I'm really happy that you did that. If you thought you were going in circles or whatever, that moved me immensely. So
thank you.
This is why I have this podcast, to give you the opportunity, not just me to talk, but others to share their message, their story. And I think that it's easier to when we're just on a Zoom call, like we're just chatting like friends.
Right.
You're not thinking about the fact that this is going to be on the air on the internet and anybody in the world can hear it.
Right.
Now you are, but now
I'm sweating.
It's my evil ploy. But yeah, it allows you to just be you. That's all I want for everybody. Just be you. Right? Because how hard was it for me? How hard is it for you? Why is it so hard? It doesn't matter. Let's just
let it all out.
Turn that dimmer switch. I almost said dimmer shit. Dimmer switch up all the way.
I saw your lips move and I was going to be like, shit, is that the word you're looking for? I got you.
Okay. Dimmer switch all the way up until you never have to bring it down anymore. Yes. And then until you just throw that fucker away.
Yes.
You said it, so I can. Hello again, Mom. I love you.
The volume back up now.
So your second point was, what is truth and what is life-saving may look catastrophic. Oh my God, is that not true? And selfish from behind different eyes. Yes. So true. The only thing, truly, and I mean, I experienced this. I've experienced this numerous times, and I feel like I'm going to be experiencing this again quite soon. Maybe even before this thing airs. But all we really have to trust in, it's like the only thing that we possess to trust in is our own heart.
Yes. And that
I wish you guys could see me.
I know. You and I are just making eye contact, like dun dun dun, like, because there's something so liberating about it, and then there's something like feeling like walking a tightrope, where you're like, oh wow,
above alligators.
Yes, where you're like, okay, all right, we're doing it, yes. But what is life if you don't fucking do it? You know what I mean? Like, are we really going to stand on the other side till we die and be like, maybe I'll try tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe tomorrow? Like, it's just ain't nothing to it but to do it.
You have the best lines ever. I need to write that down.
I wish I knew, I wish I could quote someone, because I've heard it all my life, but I don't know where it originated. If I Googled it, it would have 5,000 different people. That's what sucks.
Yeah, so you're it now.
I'm it, y'all.
Oh, and she is not kidding. So look her up. Well, how are you found? You're mostly on Instagram. However, you are in the Light of Conscience community on Facebook.
I am. And I'm peeking back in on Facebook. I went on there today. So I'm dipping my toe back in the pool. I get so overwhelmed by multiple platforms. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm juggling. So, but I'm getting a little better at being okay, I'm just going to get on there real quick and check in, and then I can get off.
What is your handle on Instagram?
It's at dr.rebeccagarifo.
And let everybody know how to pronounce your last name.
Garifo.
And on Facebook, are you Rebecca Garifo as well?
I'm basically Yes, I was going to say that one's, yeah, Dr. Rebecca Garifo.
Okay.
And that one I need to get like going with again, like my professional page, because I have really just been on Instagram and that's about it. So
No, that's
I'll be
fine.
getting that going. Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're open to sharing this, but if people wanted to find you, like in the Light of
Yeah.
Conscience community or just your
Yeah.
personal page, because that's your personal page, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? Do you want
Oh,
to share that?
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Is that
And
also Dr. Rebecca Garifo, like me? I have the
I was
same.
going to say my personal on Facebook is just Rebecca Garifo, but
Okay.
I'll absolutely share that. That'll be
Okay.
okay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
The business side of everything is important. I mean, I think that people are going to want to work with you because of who you are. But the connection is first and
Yes.
foremost with this podcast.
Yes.
My inspiration is to just connect way showers with other way showers so we can have more of a community and we can
Right.
like, oh my God, you're speaking to me because I'm just like that. And I'm not a writer,
Yes.
but I teach this or that or the other thing, or I
Yes.
just live like this and I want to get to
Right.
know you, whatever.
I
And
love
I
it.
think that,
And
yeah,
I love that. I love your mindset and I love your take on things because the professional side of stuff is so uncomfortable for me. Like it's, you know what I mean? Like it makes me sweaty. And so I mean, you see my office where I am right now, so it's like I'm so, right? Yeah.
I
So
have a
it's like,
TED doll in my background, okay?
oh
This
my
is
God,
my
I'm so
office.
glad I've been looking at it. Like, is that from the, you just need a Marky Mark poster next to him.
I'm not sure if this is legal or anything, but check this out.
Wait, hang on. I gotta post this. Hashtag, what's
Yeah, I love it.
It's my
The
husband's.
Oh my God, it's the best.
He's
I
from
love it.
Massachusetts.
Oh
So
my God.
he resonates a lot with all things Boston and
Yes.
his mom sent it to us.
Oh, I love it.
I'm so
Fantastic.
glad you
Thanks,
love
Mark
it.
Wahlberg. Perfect. Perfect. They opened a Wahlburgers restaurant like 15 minutes from our house. And I told my husband because he like loves Mark Wahlberg. He thinks he is the best. And I was like, I'm scared to go there for a lunch date with a friend without you because if I go, that's going to be the one time that Mark Wahlberg is there. And I'm like, that's the one thing that you would divorce me for. If I met like Mark Wahlberg and you did not, he would be like, I can't forget this. I can't, I can't overlook.
Well, I think that maybe Mark should be on this podcast now.
Look, I'm just saying we can give Mocky Mock a ring and be like, look, we're trying to talk to way showers. We just thought maybe you might want to give some insight, some good vibrations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, about following your heart,
Yes, yes.
So, God.
I forget that we're not like live and you can edit this. So if my face was weird a minute ago, it's because I was trying to burp as quietly as possible.
Oh.
And then I was like, oh, she's editing this. It's fine.
No, I'm not editing that. That was too precious.
I'm Laura's mom. I'm sorry that we've said the F word a lot, and I'm sorry about my bodily functions. This has just been a hot mess.
My mom is so awesome. She's gonna be laughing her butt off right now. So, oh my word. I want to just reiterate how following your heart is it's not all roses and unicorns and sparkles.
Oh no.
Neither is not following your heart. This is like, if you think that it's secure not to follow your heart, that's fine. And if you're comfortable doing that, just keep doing it. I got nothing on it. Nothing. And if you are not feeling like this is working for you, to just keep the leader in the game, I encourage you to follow your heart. Your life might not look like the way you quote unquote want it to look. It might not look like, you might not have that mansion with the waterfall inside the house. And you'd probably be happier if you follow your heart than you would if you didn't follow your heart and you had that house. There are so many stories. How many stories are there of super rich people or even not rich people that aren't following their heart, like me? When I wasn't following my heart, it's not like I was freaking rich. I was just depressed and anxious and not rich. So what the heck? I'm following my heart now.
Throw me a freaking bone here, universe. Come on.
Yeah, and I said it just like that. Don't you know?
Don't you know? Oh, my stars. You like took the words out of my mouth though. I was like, but what if you were sitting in a mansion with a waterfall and you still weren't happy because you weren't following your heart? Like, that's a doozy. That's a doozy. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's even easier because I haven't had that experience. But if I was rich already and I knew that like financially I'd be fine for quite some time, come on, I'd been just fine. But I wasn't, and I still was like, okay, I gotta follow my heart because this ain't working.
Right?
And guess what? I live in Hawaii now.
Not too shabby.
Yeah. I'm like, okay. I did the right thing.
I think you did all right. You did all right.
So what are you doing for Christmas? Oh, we're going to the beach.
Not bad. Not shoveling a driveway.
Not a bad deal. Now, does this mean that all hearts lead to Hawaii? No. And that's actually pretty good because there's, Hawaii's not everything that you see in the tourism guides. but I'm not complaining. Let's just put it that way. I want to ask you about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to ask you about this. I want to ask you to talk about this. This was your third, your third point that you were like, I really want to talk about this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to do anything to be worthy of spiritual connection. We are spirit embodied. So, just kind of comes with the territory, nah, man.
First, thank you for the direct quote. Yes. Especially the do. That's my whole book, basically. Like, that was a little foreshadowing because I have to write like I talk because I'm like, people need to know how this is meant to be said. So I appreciate that. But I'm just, I sometimes have to laugh because I don't know how many times I've had clients come in, and this was like years and years ago, and they'd have that like Krispy Kreme glaze over their eyes, and they're like, I just took a course for singing bowls last night, and I did this, and I'm going to be a tarot card reader, and and they have never looked more lost and spastic, right? And they're like, I just don't understand. Like, I'm finding everything and it resonates with me, but I don't understand. And I have to laugh because I'm like, baby, been there, done that. Like, I get it. And it's so easy sometimes to think that we have to go outside ourselves to make some kind of connection or get permission or get a certification or a title or something, right? To get some kind of spiritual assistance. And we don't. And it's so funny because how often do people say, listen to children? I don't see many Reiki master 5-year-olds running around. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. I do.
But they're on their shit. Like, so I think it's absolutely fantastic for us to learn about everything we can and go down the avenues that we're passionate about. But keep in mind, we're not getting anything we don't already have. I think we're just like hitting light switches that were already hooked up in our electric box. Like, we got it. Yeah. It's here.
Yeah. I love how you explained that. You're so good with words. I'm so jealous. Not really, but I'm just so happy that I have you.
The best T-chat. This is my favorite.
Oh man, I've been looking forward to this since I met you. And
you and me both. I have been excited.
So we must do it again on Absolutely. A podcast or not. But is there anything else that you want to share with our community? Are there other ways they can work with you? Is it just the book at this point, or do you do counseling or anything like that?
I do. Right now, I'm doing counseling by donation. Most of it's been over the phone. Of course, if you're not in North Carolina within my vicinity, it makes it a little difficult. But I do that by donation right now, which I love. And I had one this morning, and it was so funny because when I was journaling before, I've had to get past that thing we have as empaths of like, what can I give? What I have to answer everyone's questions. And I have to remind myself, no, I'm just here for everyone to empty their purse so they can sort through their met. Like, that's it. That's all. Because I have seen through the counseling sessions over and over and over and over again, like, we're smart. People answer their own questions. They know. But it's that energetic communication that's going on alongside what we're saying that's like, oh, okay. Oh, you get me. Oh, all right. That's all we need sometimes. That's all we need is somebody to just hash it out with. So exactly. So that's what I do. And then I'll do distance sessions as well. You can find that stuff on my website. But now which is RebeccaGarifo.com. That's Garifo, pronounced Garifo.
Beautiful.
Thank you. So, yeah. And it's been exciting because now that like the book is in its last, stages of getting done, I've been able to have more time to do, that aspect of stuff instead of being like, I'm writing for 12 hours. So let me block off the next week. So, yeah. So I've been excited to get back into that. Yeah.
I do understand. I've been so busy podcasting, or not podcasting, but having these interviews because I opened up both Thursdays and Fridays for them. And then I have other things to do on Thursdays and Fridays at this time. So I'm like, oh my God, I have so many that I still need to edit. I mean, I'm pushing back like this podcast probably isn't going to air until November. I don't know for sure. So wherever your book is at that time, let me know so I can make sure people know. And, yeah. And so I've had to just block off like, okay, I'm not doing interviews pretty much at all in September. Wait, is it? No, it's August. In September or even October.
Almost September. Yeah. We are knocking on the door, baby.
This is going to be the past now that we're talking about now, but I have to do that as well. And it's beautiful because I also do distant Reiki sessions. Yes, I am a Reiki master. You knocked that before, but I love it.
That's how I made one of my best friends, was also along the same line. So I'm like, well,
Yeah. So I kind of had to shove that aside, and that's not helping people. So now I have more time for that, and that's good too. So
God, and I have to tell you, there's something so fantastic about realizing, like, you want to keep a schedule, but even just as females, like, we are such cyclical beings, you know what I mean? So it's like things are going to ebb and flow, and there's going to be times that like your creativity and your music, I would imagine, is like, oh, hey, I'm ready for the limelight, and everything else might have to go on the back burner for a minute, So it's like, I think you have so much to share. I think that's exciting just for you to be able to start being like, okay, now we're going to get back into this. Now I'm ready to do more distance healing. Like, I'm on it. So I think that's fantastic. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah. And actually that's totally what happens in my life. So thanks for validating it for me. And I'm sure it also happens for our listeners. And we just want to say that we're validating that for you too. Don't worry. There's nothing to worry about. Like Rebecca said earlier. Dr. Rebecca, I mean. Okay, good. She's not one of those. You know how there's those ones that you don't say doctor before they get so offended?
And they're like, I'm sorry. And I don't know if you saw my face on our group Zoom call the other morning, and I was still on mute. And when Kimmy said Dr. Rebecca Garifo, I didn't unmute myself because I was too busy being like, yeah, that's right, doctor, that's right. Like, because it's funny to me. It's fun because I dropped out of high school and I got my diploma with a bunch of meth heads. in Pennsylvania, you know? So like, it's one of those things to me. I'm like, life is comical. You just never know.
See what I mean about Pennsylvania? No, I'm kidding.
No, what's funny is when you made the comment about Pennsylvania, I was about to be like, I ain't saying we trashing it, but I thought, you know, we're not gonna get too crazy.
That's so awesome. Well,
We just all have
Dr.
our favorite
Rebecca, I am so grateful that you were here for this podcast, and I would love to talk for another hour. And I would also like to respect everybody's time in their commute. That is probably not a 2-hour commute, I hope. And I feel for you if it is.
I hope it's not. Yeah.
But hey, when you get a chance, if you liked this podcast, go ahead and subscribe because it's super easy to do. And all these amazing people are on it. Oh my God. And there's so much inspiration that comes through when I have people on here. It's just like, boom, inspiration. And I'm like, I don't even have to talk. This is awesome. Even though I want to, I don't have to. It's great.
I love it.
So with all the gratitude in my heart, thank you so much for being here.
Laura, this was so fun. I had such a good time. Thank you for the best tea date. We'll do it again soon.
Good. You're very welcome. See you later. Aren't you so happy she exists? I know I am. And I would absolutely love for you to experience life from the light of your own heart every moment, every day. Club LC is a super easy and also super affordable way to stay connected with your light of conscience continuously. You receive Reiki every single week as a top tier member, only $54 a month. And I have the best special offer ever for this month because it's my birthday. If you join top tier, or if you're in it already and you switch to the top tier to receive that Reiki every week, what does that do? It fills you with love, my friends. It knocks out all that other crap and it fills you with love. So you're always getting more and more into the habit of having an energy field that is love. Okay, what is the special offer? Because that's not even the special offer. The special offer is for all of those in top tier by October 22nd, you will receive an extra bonus song that I'll be recording end of the month. You will also, if you stay in for 6 months, receiving all that beautiful Reiki and the other things. You receive other things too, so look it up. But you will get your very own customized mantra. And this is music. This is healing music. So look it up, bit.ly/club, capital L, capital C. Now is the best time ever. Make sure the LC is capitalized because it stands for Light of Conscience. And again, and as always, my name is so conveniently Laura Christine. It's enough to say I love you. It's enough to say let's try. Don't know about tomorrow.